Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is TOMOMI UKIDA from Pratindrasudanamdrung School, and I'm going to be talking about reclaiming health integrity. So, just to give you guys a little information about this, it is not an innovation. It is more of a suggestion to a problem that we are currently facing in modern day society regarding modern medicine. So let's get started. We're going to start with the abstract. So to begin, let's consider the foundation of modern medicine and healthcare. So if you study literature or history, or if you are a physician, you might be familiar with the term of the Hippocratic Oath, which is an oath for all physicists to act in the best interests of their patients. No lying, no medical malpractices included, and it is basically a vow to be honest as a physician or to keep your integrity as a physicist. So, and yet we have seen medical scandals just like the stem cell research in 2014 by Haruko Obokata, and coming to recent years, following the COVID-19 pandemic in 2023, there has been a lot of exposed medical malpractice within the current huge medical corporate industry. I'm going to call it industry, but this is not a jab at modern medicine. So this is just a graph showing the drop in reports of medical malpractices during the COVID era, and after that it just bounces right back up all over again. And after 2026, I'm assuming it will go even higher. So what this means is basically medical malpractice is still evident, and it's going to continue to be evident in our modern day society. So what are we aiming for? Reclaiming health integrity, yes, but let's take a deeper dive at it. So, first one, deconstruct the current reductionist, corporate-dominated healthcare model by validating holistic, multi-component botanical interventions. Second point is establish a scientifically rigorous framework for integrating traditional medicine into modern clinical practice. Third point is empower individual health by shifting the focus from centralized emergency containment to decentralized preventative wellness. Fourth point, improve healthcare accessibility by considering naturally available interventions. By that I mean traditional medicine. And lastly on my point is reduce hospital administration and administrative loads. So let's consider traditional medicine. Here are my methods. So we're going to start at the top right-hand corner. For me, it's my right-hand corner. We're going to start with ethnopharmacological documentation. What that means is you are, instead of starting your research from scratch on traditional medicine, you go back at very old scripts considering said traditional medicine and performing a new research on it. Second is system and network pharmacology. Because a single plant has many active ingredients, we use computer models to map out how those ingredients interact with different organs and systems in the body at the same time. Moving on, we go to multi-omics integration. We clean and standardize the plant extract so every dose have the same amount of strength. Then we run controlled lab tests and human clinical clinical trials to verify proper dosages, safety, and real-world results. And lastly, for my methods is pathological and clinical validation, zooming in on a microscopic level, looking at genes, proteins, and cellular chemistry to see the exact biological pathways the plant changes inside a cell. So challenges, okay. Mechanic ambiguity. So the chemical complexity of multi-herb formulas presents difficulties in isolating and tracking dynamic synergetic variations inside the human body compared to isolated synthetic molecules. Second point is standardization and quality control, which is already in the name. Third point is regulatory framework bottlenecks, which means navigating global drug approval pipelines that were designed exclusively for single molecule agents, often lacking the flexibility required for holistic multi-target mixtures. And last one, biopiracy and ethical extraction. In short, it's just basically stealing information. So what can we apply? Treat complex chronic diseases by using multi-component traditional formulations for multi-system conditions. Second, drive new drug discoveries. So tap into plant chemical diversity to develop novel therapeutics. An example I gave is artemisinin, which is actually used in Chinese medicine to treat malaria. Third, personalized preventive care. Apply traditional systems, just like Indian medicine and traditional Chinese medicine. And lastly, guard against exploitations. So don't knock it till you try it, guys. The picture here is actually just traditional medicine because to talk about my inspiration for this presentation is actually because I come from a family who uses traditional medicine more often than modern medicine, and we have been, I suppose, lied to by doctors, but we'll get into that later. And here we have our conclusion. So jumping to the conclusion, the major medical scandals you've heard about are but only the very few examples that reveal deeper structural flaws in the corporate dominated healthcare industry, where systematic priorities often override the individual patient care and narrow down to one disease, one drug approaches. Validating traditional interventions with modern science is not a step back, but a greater leap forward. Here are my references, and thank you for your attention.
One of the biggest problem of traditional medicine is the prescription is very different depending on the doctors. So that means there's no really standardized treatment options. Do you agree? So then how can you solve such problem in traditional medicine?
So your question was regarding how, like I mentioned before in my slides, mechanistic ambiguity, you're saying that it's very ambiguous?
Right, probably, yes. The treatment options should be different depending on the doctors.
Come again, please?
So treatment option to the certain disease is really depends on the doctors.
Yes, and that is
so
actually...
that means there's no really standardized treatment options.
This is actually why many professionals tells me that they can't really integrate modern medicine with traditional medicine because everyone has their own every physician regarding traditional medicine, they have their own methods in it. I'm only proposing traditional medicine because, as I said, this comes from a personal standpoint where my family actually suffered a little from modern diagnosis, but when we moved to traditional medicine, my family actually overcame such problems. But yeah, your question is actually a very good question position because it is actually one of the very big flaws we have in traditional medicine, and is also the main reason why we can't really merge traditional medicine with modern medicine, as this is just a proposal.